January 19th, 1991. The sun rises over Iraq, but the sky is about to turn lethal. Two American F-15C Eagles Capt, Cesar Rico Rodriguez and Capt. Craig Mole, Underhill slice through the cold morning air. Their mission, clear the way for 36 strike aircraft heading straight for Baghdad. Behind them, F-16s dive with 2,000-pound bombs, their explosions blooming like firestorms across the desert. And somewhere ahead, Iraq's most dangerous hunters are closing in. MiG-29 Fulcrums, fourth-generation killers. The Americans don't know it yet, but they're flying straight into one of the most cunning aerial ambushes of Operation Desert Storm. The Eagles press north, scanning the empty sky in the back of their minds. Every pilot in Desert Storm knows the MiG-29 isn't just another jet. It's fast, it's lethal, and in the hands of a determined Iraqi pilot, it can kill you before you even see it. From hundreds of miles away, an E-3 AWACS call sign. Magic watches it unfold on a glowing radar scope. Controller Mark White keys his mic. Rico, you've got two hostiles. One bearing 040 for 35. Second is 340 for 65. No hesitation. Rico picks the closer threat. We'll take 040. The Eagles roll hard toward the target. Their AN/APG-63 radars sweeping the horizon. Contact, Rico calls. A blip appears. But almost instantly, another warning lights up his RWR, the digital growl of a MiG-29's radar locking on. I'm being painted, MiG-29s. I see it, Mole replies, tightening his grip on the stick. Two pairs of fourth-generation fighters all teeth. All claws close in head-on at supersonic speed. It's a joust at Mach. Rico selects an AIM-7 Sparrow, the Eagle's long-range punch. But the Fulcrums aren't flying straight. They drop low, hugging the desert floor, using the Earth's surface to scatter the F-15's radar beams. On Rico's scope, the single blip splits into two. I got you.
Target.
2 versus 2. He locks one up, finger resting on the trigger. Inside the MiG's cockpit, the Iraqi pilot hears the shrill wail of a lock warning. He banks sharply and
Rico,
suddenly, the tone stops. On Rico's screen, the target vanishes. Lost it. They've just slipped into the Eagle's blind spot, the perpendicular beam where the radar loses track. It's a textbook Fulcrum move, and it's about to turn this mission into a chess match at 700 miles per hour. The Fulcrums keep flashing in and out of Rico's radar like ghosts, always reappearing just far enough to stay out of missile range. And then, they start dragging the fight east, straight toward Baghdad. From Magic's high perch in the sky, Mark White sees it coming. He knows what's out there. Rings of S-125 Neva, surface-to-air missiles guarding the capital, fly into that zone. And even an Eagle can be swatted from the sky. As the F-15s cross into another sector, AWACS control changes hands. White has to hand them off to a different controller, and for a moment, there's a gap in the watchful eyes overhead. It's all the MiGs need. The Iraqi plan is elegant in its danger. Two Fulcrums play bait, luring the Americans into the SAM kill zone. A third MiG-29 is already sprinting in from their left flank. Radar switched off, invisible to the F-15's warning receivers. Inside Rico's cockpit, the RWR is calm too calm. He doesn't see the third threat closing from 330 to go, just miles away. His focus is on keeping the bait pair from reaching the F-16s, hammering Baghdad's ammo depot. Mole's voice cuts in. They're pulling us into the city's anti-air. Rico doesn't flinch. The strike package is still in the danger zone. If they break off now, the Fulcrums will pounce on the bomb-laden F-16s. Hold position. Keep pushing them away until the strikes are done. Then we'll get out. Every second they hold, the RWR ticks more urgently. Enemy radars probing, tracking, tightening the noose. But neither Eagle breaks formation. Up in AWACS, Mark White glances back at their sector and freezes. That third MiG is now inside 18 miles, well within R-27 Alamo missile range, and the Eagles still aren't reacting.
Target is at 15 miles and closing
15
fast.
miles. 14. If he waits too long, they're dead. He keys the mic. Pop-up contact. 330 for 13 miles. Rico's instincts fire instantly. Drop tanks jettison. Stick yanked hard toward the new threat. The Eagle's wings vapor with the strain as the nose swings towards the invisible killer. On his scope, there it is. 8 miles. No time to think, and the Iraqi just lit his radar. The ambush is over. The fight is on. 8 miles. Both jets are inside lethal range. Inside the F-15, Rico locks the contact but holds his fire. The rules of engagement are clear. Any target within 10 nautical miles must be visually identified, in case it's a stealth F-117 returning home. Mole, run the IFF, he orders, eyes never leaving the sky. But time is running out. The Iraqi gets the lock first, and Rico's RWR erupts into a screaming spike alerts. I'm getting spiked. Rico flips the Eagle inverted and dives hard, chaff streaming behind him to confuse the missile's radar. The altimeter unwinds at an insane rate, 25,000, 15,000, 10,000 feet, but the lock stays glued to him. Then, finally, the call comes through, cleared to engage. Rico doesn't waste a heartbeat. Fox 1. The AIM-7 Sparrow rockets off his pylon in a plume of white smoke. Streaking straight for the Fulcrum's nose, Rico catches sight of the MiG, nose down. Trying to dive out of the fight, but too late. Impact. A fireball blooms in the thin morning air. Shards of metal tumbling into the desert. Splash 1. Rico pulls out of the dive, barely 500 feet above the sand. Heart pounding. Lungs burning. But AWACS isn't done with him yet. Second group. North. 10
Second
miles.
group north.
The strike package is already on its way home. They could turn back. Call it a day. But at 10 miles, the new contact is too close to ignore one mistake, and it could be on their tail. Rico turns north. The target pops on radar. Hostile. He locks it, and the Iraqi instantly breaks left.
HUD says
Rico stays on him,
IFF
but the
says
IFF
friendly. Which
system
is it?
flashes an unexpected result. Friendly. Mole feels the dread in his gut.
Gotta
But
be
Rico
sure.
wants to be sure.
Gotta be absolutely
They
sure.
close in fast, and at 50 feet, the truth hits him. Green camo, Iraqi flag on the tail. A MiG-29. No more chess match, now it's a knife fight. Rico pulls into a hard climbing turn, inverted over the Fulcrum, slicing into its circle. 10 Gs crush his body into the seat as the Eagle screams through the merge. The MiG dives, trading altitude for speed. Rico follows, spiraling toward the deck. They roar past each other again, each pass bringing them closer to the kill. Then Rico sees his moment. The Fulcrum drifts into his sight picture. Fox 2, but before the Sidewinder leaves the rail, the Iraqi tries one last desperate move, pulling hard, inverted, toward the sand. It's too much. The Gs rip through his body. The ground rushes up, and the MiG slams into the desert in a plume of dust and flame. Rico eases off the stick. Mole slides into formation off his wing. Let's go home. The desert falls silent again. 2 MiG-29s are gone. Every F-16 in the strike package is still airborne. Their mission accomplished without a single loss. For Capt, Cesar Rico Rodriguez. This day cements his name in USAF. History 2 Fulcrums down in a single sortie, tying him for the highest number of MiG kills by an American pilot since Vietnam. But the lesson isn't just about numbers. This fight proved that air superiority isn't won by the machine alone. The F-15C's radar, the AIM-7s and AIM-9s, they were tools. The real edge came from discipline under pressure, situational awareness, and the willingness to take risks for the mission, not just survival. Rico didn't chase kills. He protected the strike force, even when it meant flying into a SAM trap. He trusted his wingman. He trusted AWACS. And when the moment came, he made the right calls in seconds, because in air combat, hesitation kills. Final visual, an F-15C Eagle, its nose tipped toward the rising sun, banking gently over endless sand. Far below, the fading black scars of battle vanish into the desert haze. In Desert Storm's opening days, history didn't roar from the headlines. It was written at Mach 1, in split-second choices between life and death, and in the quiet satisfaction of bringing your people home.